Hello everyone, welcome to ADDA247. My name is Sandeep Samal and here we are connected for the FSSAI session, that is the day 4 of FSSAI session. Okay, so I hope so everyone is connected and please like the session and share the session. Hi Sankarshan Sahu, welcome to the session. Okay, so let's start the session. So we are going to study about the functions of the food authority. It's not a very big topic, okay, but yeah, there are so many MCQs that can be framed from this particular topic or session. Okay, so this just a minute, yeah. So what we are going to study about is functions of the food authority. So in the last class on Saturday, I explained what exactly is the food authority. Food authority is the apex body or the apex authority for the food testing and analysis. Okay, not exactly for each and every matter related to food safety, right? So here we are going to see that what exactly are the different functions that the food authority performs. Okay, so let's move to the next slide and check what exactly are the functions here. So the first one, the duties and the functions of food authority. It shall be the duty. See, before starting this session, let me tell you that these points are pretty large. You know, I have already shortened this point. These points are usually of 5 to 6 lines. Okay, so what you need to do is you need to remember certain keywords. Okay, those keywords that will help you to remember the complete statement. Okay, you have to do that or else it will be really difficult to remember all these things in the exam. Yeah, if you can remember then it's well and good, but if you cannot remember then you can go ahead and remember the keywords. Okay, clear guys? Hello Subhangi, welcome to the session. So what are the duties? So it shall be the duty of the food authority to regulate and monitor. Again, the most 5 important things that we have already studied in our previous classes. Okay, so here the food authority is regulating and monitoring. And what exactly the food authority is regulating and monitoring? It is regulating and monitoring the manufacture, the processing, the distribution, the sale and the import of food. Clear guys? Okay, so these are the things that the food authority is regulating and monitoring, okay, of food so as to ensure safe and wholesome food. Next, the food authority may by regulation specify, that means the food authority can specify some of the things according to the rules and regulations. Let's take a look what are the things that can be specified. First one is the standards and guidelines. Okay, the standards and guidelines in relation to articles of food and specifying an appropriate system for enforcing various standards notified under this act. Okay, so what, see the standards and guidelines here. In the previous classes we have seen that there are so many standards and guidelines that the FSSAI follows to ensure that the food that reaches the consumers is safe, right? Now to ensure this safety, what we need is the standards and guidelines, or we can say the standards and regulations also. Now these standards and regulations are usually prescribed by the food authority. Now first of all, these are prescribed to the food authority by the technical committee, and the food authority is the one who is going to decide that what kind of standards and guidelines should be set for a particular category of the food. Okay, next, the limits. We have already seen about this in the functions of FSSAI. The limits, limits of what? Limits of all the things that are added to the food. For example, different kinds of additive, different kinds or different categories of other foods that are added to a particular food. Okay, for example, whenever you are going to purchase a bread, now bread doesn't only contain wheat, it contains so many things. It contains sugar, it contains some preservatives. So especially these preservatives should be added in a particular quantity, and these quantities are specified by the food authority. Okay, so the standards and guidelines in relation to articles of food and specifying an appropriate system for enforcing various standards notified under this act. Okay, this one was about the standards. Next one, the limits for use of food additives. Okay, next, crop contaminants. Okay, for example, all the pesticides, fertilizers, each and everything, all the chemicals that are used by a farmer. Next, pesticide residues. Okay, so all the pesticides that all the pesticide residues, then we have different kinds of medicines, residues of veterinary drugs, then heavy metals, processing aids, mycotoxins, these are certain type of toxins released by different fungus. Okay, antibiotics and pharmacological active substances, and irradiation of food. Now talking about irradiation food, sometimes the food undergoes a certain type of radiation, so that's why that level of the radiation should be at the prescribed limit. Okay, clear? It should not exceed that. The food should not become cancerous. Next, the mechanisms and guidelines for accreditation of the certification bodies. So these are the bodies, those who provide the FSSAI certification. Okay, so what we need is that all the food safety management system who are involved in this certification process should be accredited by a certain national agency or international agency. Okay, the mechanisms and guidelines for accreditation of certification bodies engaged in certification of food safety management systems for food businesses. Next, the procedure and the enforcement of quality control. Kindly pay attention to all the words that have been bold here. Okay, the procedure and the enforcement of quality control. Okay, so talking about the quality control, now exactly what we need to see here. Okay, how the laws related to the quality control or the food safety is being enforced, that is also important. Okay, like let's just imagine that there is a committee or there is a group of people who usually sit down and talk about the different laws, different rules and different regulations that are going to be introduced, right, or that are going to be enforced. But there is another team here who goes to the ground level, I mean goes to the consumers, to the food safety, to the food business operators, and ensures that these rules and regulations are being enforced. So that's what we are talking about. Okay, the procedure and the enforcement of quality control in relation to any article of food imported into India. Okay, next, the procedure and guidelines for accreditation of laboratories. Clear? Okay, so all the laboratories that are present here, okay, all the laboratories that are present here, okay, that are involved in food testing and analysis should be accredited. Okay, so we will talk about these accreditation. Now these accreditation are given by NABL. Okay, the central accreditation is given by NABL. We will also talk about that. Okay, next, the method of sampling, how the food should be sampled. For example, if you are a CFSO or if you are a food safety or state food safety officer, then your work is in the on the field. You can call yourself as a field operator, okay, or a field level worker. Okay, why? Because usually you have to go to places to places and see that if the food that is being served in the restaurants or the food that is being sent to any place like bakeries and all, they usually cook the food and send to different places. Now these foods should be sampled. Now sampling means why they should be sampled. If you get a feeling that yeah, there is something wrong with this food, or you see something that can lead to the food poisoning or unsafety of the food, right, in those cases sampling should be done because the food needs to be analyzed, right. So there are certain methods of sampling, analysis and exchange of information among the enforcement authorities. Okay, so next, conduct survey of enforcement and administration. Now what exactly is this thing? There is a team here who usually takes care of the rules and regulations. There is a team here which takes care of the enforcement. Okay, now there is another team here which takes care of the official administration. Now are these people really working at their okay, so are these people really working in their respective sector properly? This can be, usually this is assessed by surveys. Okay, so are the rules, are the laws, are the regulations being enforced in a proper way? So is the administration working properly in this act? Okay, next, Food labeling standards including claims on health, nutrition, special dietary uses and food category systems for foods. Okay, so we can see that the food labeling standards here. Whenever you will see a food label, usually you will find the FSSAI logo as well as the license number of the food business operator. Okay, now these foods, whatever information they are providing on the label, okay, these food business operators, whatever information they are providing on the label should be correct. Okay, the information should be correct here. Okay, and there are certain rules and regulations regarding these informations also. That means what they need, what are the what are the information that they are going to provide, and also these things are also regulated by FSSAI, including claims on health. If there is a certain food which is saying that by consuming this food this will cure this disease. For example, you might have heard about so many foods here that drink this and the diabetes you will be free of your diabetes and all. Okay, so we have to the food business operators who are claiming these things also have to take care of certain things that are mentioned by the FSSAI. Okay, then nutrition. Okay, then special dietary uses. For example, we have different Horlicks and different beverages here, like for example, you have energy drinks that claims that when you drink it you will be full of energy. Okay, and then you have different variants of Horlicks like mother's Horlicks, women's Horlicks, sugar-free Horlicks for diabetic users. So these are the things. And food category system for foods. Next, the manner in which and the procedure subject to which risk analysis. Now, there is another, these are another, the risk assessment, risk analysis is another sector of the functions that comes in the functions of the food authority. Risk analysis, risk assessment, risk communication and risk management shall be undertaken. The food authority shall also provide scientific advice and technical support to the central government and the state government. Okay, because there is a technical committee attached here, right? So they can also provide scientific advice and technical support. Search, collect, collate, analyze and summarize relevant scientific and technical data related to. So these are common English terms, so I don't need to explain these, right? Scientific and technical data related to food consumption. Okay, and is there any risk associated with the consumption of the food? Second one is incidence and prevalence of biological risk, again related to food, microorganisms, bacteria, fungus and all. Then virus, as we are already facing one. Contaminants in food. Okay, residues of various contaminants, pesticide residues, identification of emerging risks. What are the risks that can arise from a particular sector of food? Okay, then introduction of rapid alert system. Now what exactly is rapid alert system? Whenever there is any kind of contamination, any kind of risk that is being that has arisen from the food industry, then there should be a rapid alert system. That means each and every person or all the places adjacent to that particular area should be notified, should be alerted. Okay, should be alert. Okay, and this alerting system should be rapid. That means it should be really fast, so that the side effects or the risks that the food contamination can cause can be reduced here. Next, promote, coordinate and issue guidelines for the development of risk assessment methodologies. Okay, so what they need to do? Promote, coordinate and issue guidelines for what? Development of risk assess. How you are going to assess the risk? What exactly is the risk? These are also specified by the food authority. Provide scientific and technical advice and assistance to the central government and the state government in implementation of, now this is the main point here, crisis management procedures regarding food safety. That means we are already in a crisis. Let's take an example that COVID-19 can be, or COVID-19, we are just taking an example. We hope we don't jinx it, right? So COVID-19 is transmitted through food. Then the FSSAI or the food authority should lay down a set of procedures, guidelines that can prevent this transmission of a virus from or any kind of microorganism or risk due to food. establish a system of network of organization. Why do we need to establish a system of network of organizations? So that the different teams that are present in the food authority can stay updated about the activities of different other teams, and they can work accordingly. So it's basically a communication system we are talking about. Now, provide scientific and technical assistance to the central government and the state governments for improving cooperation with international organizations. Okay, so what we need to do is provide scientific and technical assistance to the central government and the state governments for improving cooperation with international organizations. So there are different international organizations, for example WTO. Okay, we have to work in line with their rules and regulations also, because we are exporting a lot of things from India. Okay, so if our rules and regulations are not in line with the WTO, then the product might not get exported. We may face a trade ban also. Provide, whether within or outside their area, training programs. Now, the food authority can also provide training programs to the food business operators. Okay, hi, Guddu Mishra, welcome to the session. Okay, so training programs in food safety. So now these are the different training, there are different training programs here, okay, that are usually provided to the employees, to the different food business operators, or anyone who wants to get involved in the food business activity. Okay, so this was it for promote general awareness to food safety and standards. Okay, so they can also promote general awareness as to general awareness for whom? For everyone, for people like you, people like me. Okay, for everyone, a general awareness should be promoted to ensure food safety and standards. Okay, next. So this was it for today, the roles, the duties and the functions of the food authority. Now you know that we have batches for these. Okay, so this is the batch where only FSSAI will be taught for assistant, personal assistant and junior grade assistant. Okay, the MRP is 8999, but by using the code Y291 you can get the batch at 2069. Okay, next we have CFSO and TO batch. Okay, so here three faculties will be involved here. Okay, for food science and FSSAI. Okay, so the price is 12,999, but you can get this at 2989. Okay, these are the maximum discounts that are available right now with this code Y291. Now there are also these e-books. You can get this from the ADDA247 store with the help of the same code, 229 for personal assistant, 321 for CFSO, TO and assistant and junior assistant. Then we have this test series here. Okay, so in the test series here you have assistant and junior assistant, technical officer and CFO and personal assistant. Okay, and the offer price is 321 and 367 as you can see. Okay, the code remains the same, it's Y291 for all the products whatever you are purchasing from the ADDA247 store. Okay guys, so I hope so this session was fruitful. I hope so this session was beneficial. We'll meet again in the next session. Till then, take care, goodbye and stay safe.